Me and the puppies have come on a lovely walk today. This is the old haunt. Now this, oh my gosh, this is going back to what, a few years ago when I got Father Ted. And this, do you remember when I did the video where I was dying in my van from the cold and Paul was putting the fire in, and I was saying I can't feel my fingers and everything, and it was bitter. Well, this is the exact spot we was in. And I've just come up the little hill in this car, and the car was pushing it to get up here, and we came up with a caravan. So this is really funny. So this is the exact spot, babies, where Mommy was sat dying, and then we got the heater put in, and then suddenly everything was great in the world. So we're going to go for a nice walk. We're going to go and see if we can forage anything. There might be some mushrooms, blackberries and things like that to get. So let's go for a little walk, puppies. I think they remember being here. They're having a good time, having a good snuffle about. I think a lot of people come up here. But yeah, there's a lot of toilet roll and stuff about here. Gosh, people come up here camping. It is September. Don't ask me what date. September 16th, I don't know. I don't even know what date we're on. But anyway, look at the sky. Today is really nice. We have... Oh, there's somebody down there. Can hear someone. You can see the car. So you've got blackberries up here. But we'll just check them and see if they're any good. But right, I'm going to tell you something. I forgot about this, you know. It is 8 years since I came to Scotland. So in the last 8 years, I have lived in a caravan, staff accommodation, a beautiful bothy on the Isle of Ling, a log cabin on the Secret Coast, and I did a spell back in Halifax, which I couldn't cope with. That's when I felt depressed, and I said, I'm coming back, I can't take it. And I've lived in my car, a tent. Oh my gosh, I have done 8 years of living it really hard and very good as well, because the whole point of what I've done is to make sure I find a home here, and it's taken me a long time, but I feel like I've made it, because I've lasted pretty much 8 years up in Scotland when I had no friends here. I didn't know nobody at all in the old country, and I took a massive gamble and a risk coming here, but it's paid off because I've had a good time in general. Right, you see this little thing here? I'm just going to look in here because I remember being here. It's gone many years ago when I came and we put that fire in. I put some organite in there, and it's gone because I used to make it, right, and I used to gift it, which means you put it around forests. Oh, I nearly fell over, dog. In forests and stuff like that. I can hear people talking, but there's no one there. Very weird. But do you know when you come into the forest on your own, I hear the fairies. You can hear them. And people go, no, it's not, it's people, but not always. It's a magical place. So we're going to go and find something nice and see if we can find some mushrooms. And one of the funniest things that I saw during lockdown was this, right? We came to this forest and no one comes, right, apart from like 2 or 3 people. And it had signs saying closed for social distancing. So I took all the signs down. You know, did it now. The only thing about these walks is you get into the forest here and there's lots of forks going off. So we can either go down or up. But this is where I get lost, because when you get a few of these, I forget which direction I've gone in. And because there's no real landscape, landmarks, I can't tell if it should be up or down, and coming back again, did we go up or down? I can't tell. Now I feel like if I go to the left, that's more of a rustic kind of walk, because it looks like the road might sort of go off again. And I think this one might be more used by the forestry. So that'd be like the main road. And there's somebody in here because the car's there. So which way did they go? So if we go up, we go further. Let's go up. But anyway, as I was saying, 8 years, right? Apart from the spate that I did in Halifax, in that flat with Paul, I haven't really paid any bills for 8 years. I haven't paid rent since I lived on the Isle of Ling. No, I'm lying. When I went to Drumsina, do you remember I started off in the staff accommodation? And then I moved into a private house in the village in Loch Goylehead. And that's the only time I paid rent. And I only paid it for a couple of months because she was scamming me. So I scammed her back and didn't pay it. So I made it quits. So she can't ever say no to me because I just took back what she took off me because that's what I'm like. You don't let yourself be conned by people. Right? Aside from them episodes, we have lived for free. Pretty much. So for 7 years I've just survived and moved about and gone here and there. Thought I had someone behind me then. And it's been hard and it's been fun as well. You can look back on a lot of the hardships and laugh, and you can say how it's built your character up, because I've learned that even when I've had massive breakdowns because I've been living in a car and in a forest in a tent and stuff like that, I did survive. I survived and I came through it, and I'm here now. So when you look at it like that, you've got to say, well, sometimes hardships make who you are, because when you've got an easy life and you have everything given and you don't have to fight for it, then do you really appreciate it? You know, I live in this little van now and I love it, and I've been in this van for 2 years on my own. Oh cool, they found some dirty water. Yay! It better not have had any algae in it, because I was reading about that the other day. Go and find some... It hasn't. Let's find something clean, puppies. So, I always go off on a tangent. Yeah, so I've been in this van for 2 years and it's been great. I've just lived on my own, and it's not a big van, but it's big enough. But I've saved up enough money to buy a big one, and hopefully soon, fingers crossed, I will be in a bigger van, and hopefully it will have a fixed bed and a working cooker, running water. But you know, when I talk about it, I realise I live like a third world life, because I don't have amenities that are just to hand like you have in a house. And with all this stuff going on in the world right now, people are getting to a point where they're going to end up like me anyway, living in the house like a third world, because even though they've got all the amenities, they're not going to be able to afford them. So the people are not going to have the electric on and the fires on and all the rest of it, which I don't have. So if I can survive it, I'm sure a younger person could. It's starting to get a bit breezy now, so it might pick up on wind, so I'm going to have to go where it's a bit... You can't tell how massive them roots are. Look at them trees that have fallen over there. Look at the size of that. I call these the creepers because they look like they're coming up out of the ground. And if you look at... I just think that they look like... I can't even see... Do you know what? I cannot see with these glasses. But can you see what I'm saying? They just remind me of creatures coming out of the ground. So I call them the creepers and the watchers. So I've had a few people ask me, how do you do what you do? How do you just live like this? And the answer is, you take a lot of risks. And you risk your life, your sanity, and everything you ever knew to have what you want. Because what everybody needs, right, is a goal and a dream and some passion. And I'm going to give myself a pat on the back, because I've gone through hell these last 8 years. In particular, I've gone through it my whole life, but the last 8 years has been the biggest challenge, because I wanted to break free from society, because I can't cope with it. And I've struggled so often, but do you know what? I never gave in. It was my family who forced me to go back, and Paul, go back home, go back home. And I ended up caving in for them because they were the ones who were suffering more than me. But, do you know what? If you want something bad enough, you just go and get it. And if it means you go without, then you just go without. And I was thinking about this the other day and I thought, this is funny. I come from a big house on a council estate, which was my house. And I loved it. But up until about 2 years ago, I just went down, down, down into smaller and smaller accommodation. And I got to a point where I was sharing accommodation. I've shared a flat with 3 other people and had just the single bedroom to myself. And they were strangers. And then I've shared staff accommodation with people I didn't really know. And like I said, I've lived in a tent and everything. So my accommodation size has gone right down, down, down until I'm in this tiny little van. But I know that I'm on my way up to success because the next van I'm getting is bigger, right? So I'm going up now. Do you see where this is going? So one day I will get my Gothic house. I will get it. Even if it's in the next lifetime, who cares? As long as you are heading towards your goal. It doesn't matter if you die before you get there. It doesn't matter. The only thing that ever matters is that you tried and you was on your way. That's the only thing that matters. So if you're sick of the rat race and you've had enough, go get a living job. Go and find a nice niche place where you can park a van and no one will come near you because it's in the middle of nowhere. Just do whatever you want. Stick your finger up at the system because it doesn't work for people. You've got to enjoy servitude to enjoy modern day life, and many people are struggling with it because you know deep down in your soul that it's wrong. We're supposed to be free and we're not supposed to be paying to live on our own planet. That is not what we're supposed to be doing. And we're all governed by the powers that be, whether you like it or not. But you can find a way to sidestep things. You can't always avoid society. You've got to keep one foot in it to survive. You can't just go off on your own. I don't know anybody who could live in a forest on their own with no support whatsoever. You would struggle and you wouldn't thrive, especially in winter. There's not enough food here. You'd have to hunt, so you couldn't be a vegan. You'd have to lower a lot of your standards if you were, just to get by. But there are other ways. One of them, like I said, is to go share accommodation with someone so it frees up money, so you've got more money to save for what you want. Or just go travelling and just do it on a shoestring and just do it. But don't sit in your house depressed saying I can't stand my life. If you really can't stand it anymore, just get out. That's what I did. And it is hard. And it challenges every part of you, you know. But in order to be truly free in your heart, you have to be living life the way you want to live it. And I walked away from crappy relationships and crappy friendships that were fake and crappy housing I couldn't even afford to live in. And I'd rather live like this. I mean, today, like, I've got a day off. I've got 3 days off a week. And I only work part-time and I can afford to live. I don't know anybody in that position. You know, it's to me, that is almost like semi-retirement, you know. Now, if I lost my job, I would obviously, I'd have to either pay for the pitch or go somewhere else and get another job. But with all the skills that I've gained over the years, I should easily get another job doing the same thing. I just don't worry about things at the moment, because that's something I've learnt not to do, because I used to fret all the time. constantly fretting, what if I don't make it, what if this doesn't work out, what if, you know, and I'll stay in a job or something, or a relationship, because I'm scared of what will happen if I leave, you know. Will I make it on my own, kind of thing. But I've already proven I can. How many times now? It's getting too windy, so my hair is caught in a tree and I've just nearly killed myself getting up here. But look, let me pick that. Now what I got told by Steve is it's got to be the same colour underneath and above, and I think that is. I'm going to collect them and I'll get him to check them for me. But look at them all. There's loads. Baby's is pulling my hair out of my head, but I should be able to get enough for tea. Just found some more mushrooms up here, so I'm going to try and get over here. Now this doesn't look as bad as the last one. I had to come down on my backside on the last one. But these, yeah. Oh gosh. Babies, mushrooms. Wow. Now apparently, if you were to sell these to the local restaurants, you get something like £25 a kilo for them. So let's see what we can get. I've walked quite high up in the forest and I'm glad I put my walking boots on now, because I have now got a full bag of chanterelles. Look how steep the forests are in Scotland. They're all on hills, mountainsides and whatever. So coming up is one thing. Coming down, there's another. I've already done the last one on my backside and I'm wearing cream coloured jeans, so I've probably got a brown backside. There's a lot of rotting wood under my feet that you can't see because of all the moss. And it's like, you've got to tread carefully. Oh, the fun, eh? The fun of getting lost in the forest and finding mushrooms that take you off on another tangent somewhere else. Oh, dearie me. So yeah, as I was saying, I've got free time. I've got time to come and explore and go places and do what I want. So that's the beauty of getting off the grid, because all you poor people who have to work just to live, and you're paying for something you're never in, because you've got to work full time these days to have a mediocre life. It's disgusting, and that's not how right, I've gone my foot, oh god. Right, if you can see my foot, where is it? Puppies! I'm just laughing to myself at all those times people felt sorry for me. Oh, poor Kel, she's up there in the most beautiful country in the world, suffering and struggling, and I'm like, but I'd rather that than have an easy life in a hellhole, right? And I've said this many times, but I live in the most beautiful country and I have, at the moment, the best time. But do you know when you have a really bad patch that can go on for years and years, when you finally get to be where you want to be and you're surrounded by the people you like to be around and things like that, then you look back and go, it was all worth that, wasn't it? It was all worth the sacrificing, because you find out so much about yourself and it changes you, but it makes you a stronger person. And when you change and become a stronger person, you start to meet stronger people, because like attracts like. And I don't meet the kind of people anymore that I used to hang out with, you know, like on the council estate. And I don't mean it bad for council estate, because you've got great people there as well, but I was surrounded by people who used to impose their will on me all the time. Whether I liked it or not, I was going to get my car done over or my house done over if I didn't play my cards right and whatever. And you lived on pins all the time because of a few chavs. But I've never let anyone control me, ever. They always think they can, and then they get to a point where they realise that I'm too crazy. You can't bring down a nutter. I can go so far and then I'll fight back and then I'll be gone, and that's the end of it. So I'm just coming to a view now that is so amazing. and it won't pick up on the camera till I get a bit nearer, so I'll just keep waffling. And silly me has bought everything with me, ow, apart from the batteries for my camera, and it's going to go anytime, but it's okay. This is the first time I've come for a long walk in ages with doggies on my own, because normally I've got Paul, or we've just been going locally. But I'm just going to turn the camera around in a sec. Oh my gosh. So we've been going pretty much uphill all the way, now it's going to start going down. And I'm not sure actually where I'm looking at, so I'll just turn it around here. The sound of silence. How annoying. I got to that other part up there and I said, right, I'm going to show you this beautiful view, and the camera went dead, and it's going to go dead again because I've just let it charge up by itself for 5 minutes, so it's going to go off again. Just at the point where I was going to show you the most beautiful view, it went battery exhausted. So we're on our way back now, so sorry about that. That was like an EastEnders Friday night episode. Doom, doom, doo, 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 doo. You see, you missed it. Come back next time, I might do it again. Puppy's found herself a nice stick. That's a good one, isn't it, Puppy? That's the best stick, Booba. Yeah, good girl. So we're back again. That was a 1.5 hour walk. I got a full bag of chanterelles. The babies had a nice time, and oh my gosh, I shouldn't have put jeans on, because wearing jeans is not a good idea on a forest walk, because you're so restricted when you're walking with these on, and I can't really do much. So when I was climbing up the hill in the forest, I wasn't really getting nowhere because of these, so I'll just go back to wearing leggings again. I'm just glad I put my work boots on, because I wouldn't have even done that with normal shoes. So, but do you know what? We've seen one person in 1.5 hours up here, and where I come from in Halifax, we all used to have to go for a walk together. Like, we'd go around Ogden and there'd be hundreds of people all at the same time, and it was just so oppressive, you know what I mean? Everybody doing the same walk at the same time, and you're all going in the same direction, and it's like, oh. But you come up here and you feel like you've got the whole world to yourself, and that is wealth. And when we talk about what is poor and what is rich, rich is when you're in the middle of the sea on a boat on your own, and in a forest on your own, because you just can't beat that. It is absolutely amazing, and that has done me a world of good, you know, in my mind, because sometimes you just need to be away from everybody and just be alone, and that is amazing in there. So, and I saw loads more mushrooms, but I couldn't get up the hill to get them because my legs were just too tired wearing these silly jeans. So that's another walk for another time, but need to get in there before the season ends. But yeah, that was a good day, puppies. That was the best walk you've had in a while with Mummy. No, I'll go now. So yeah, I was talking earlier on about getting out of the rat race, and this is getting out of the rat race as much as you can, and just living more true to yourself. You don't need a lot of stuff. You can be happy with a very little. You know, all this materialism is just rubbish. I've got a cheap car that some people would laugh at, and they'd go, you're driving an old banger. But that old banger takes me around Scotland, and it gets me where I want to go, and it's cheap. I've just paid a year's car insurance, and it was £183 for one year. So I paid it all in one go. When I moved to Halifax, my car insurance went up to 500 or 600, no, it was 600 and something pounds. And I said, how can you justify it? And they said, well, it's because it's a high crime area. So the worse the place, the more you pay to live there, which is insane. So you need to get out of it. When I get my land, you can come and live on it. You get a van, come and live on it with me, and just get away from all this rubbish, because it's not worth it. If you like your life, then fair enough, but a lot of people don't. I'm going to turn off now and I'm going to go to the right and see if that road is still closed and see if I can get some footage. Right, I'll go. So we've come to yet another crossroads. We can go left or right, but when you turn right you can also go left up there. So do you see how easy it is to get lost in here? It's absolutely massive, and the amount of times that I've been lost is unbelievable. Now, this is the only time I've brought my phone out with me, in case, because I know what I'm like. So this time I can phone for help. If I'm lost here for a few hours and I start panicking, I'll eat my mushrooms and then go, help me somebody please. And then we'll have to get rescued. See, I've got half a bag full already. It's quite heavy, so that is well cool. I'm going to see if I can find any more. Might go on with enough for a few. How funny is this? I said I was going to come foraging for mushrooms and I weren't even looking because I was too busy chatting, and I threw the stick up there. Look what there is. Gonna get a close up on that. Chanterelles. All I've got to do is break my neck to get up there, and there's loads up there. Oh my gosh. It's time for foraging. Right, I haven't bought anything with me, so we're going to have to use a poo bag. Yay!